Welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be about a hack on how to wear designer for less. And this particular video is going to focus on jewellery. Really quickly, before we get into it, if you haven't subscribed and you have any interest in fashion or designer fashion or positivity and mindset, then please hit the subscribe button, and if you hit the bell and you hit all notifications, then you will be notified every time I post a new video. So basically the idea is that designer fashion it covers such a huge range in terms of price range, different types of clothing, different brands. Even when it comes to the super brands, which is what I'm going to be talking about in this video, the prices can still vary a lot. But basically what I wanted to do is, the reason I want to talk about this is I want to show you a way that you can include designer in your wardrobe without having to literally spend thousands. I mean, you can definitely buy designer handbags for less than £1,000, but a lot of them you're talking over 1,000, over 1,500. Depending on the brand, you're potentially talking, over 2,000, might be 3.5. Ready to wear, again, it totally depends. It depends on whether it's a top, it might start at 500 or 600, could go all the way up to a coat that might be 3, 4, 5,000. So what I wanted to show you with this video is how you can maybe buy a piece of jewellery and, maybe have the logo on it, maybe not have the logo, depends on whether or not you're into that, but how you can basically buy a piece of jewellery and hopefully have that as something that, you might even be able to wear it every day if that's what you want to do. So you'd still be spending a good amount of money, you might still need to save up for it, but it might be a lot more attainable than maybe trying to save up, let's say, £2,000 for a bag. And unlike a lot of items of clothing, like maybe a top, for example, if you go for a piece of jewellery, like maybe a pair of earrings or a necklace, it's literally something that you can really get your wear out of, and you can wear it with every outfit. Instead of just wearing it once a week, once every 2 weeks, you can literally wear it all the time. Let's see if I can remember how many brands I'm actually going to focus on. I've also decided to do it brand by brand because I want to talk about Chanel at the end, because I know that a lot of you will, really know Chanel, and I thought it would be good to do all of that sort of all together. So that's why I've decided to do it like designer by designer instead of doing like all the bracelets, all the earrings, all the necklaces like that. So we're mainly going to talk about Valentino, what else was there? Alexander McQueen and Chanel. Let's start with Valentino. So even with jewellery within one designer brand, the prices can vary really dramatically. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to show you a pair of earrings here that's sort of at the higher end of the budget, and then I'm going to show you some at the low end, which is what I really wanted to focus on in this video. So these earrings here are Valentino. They are £810 on their website. I believe they have, I think they have rhinestones in them. So you can see that they're really dramatic, like there's a lot of detail to them. To be honest, I personally would have no problem wearing jewellery that really stands out during the day. A lot of things that people would reserve for nighttime, I'd have no problem wearing during the day. But to be honest, I think with these, maybe you would have to reserve them for certain occasions or nighttime or something, possibly. So just to compare that with the other items that I found that I wanted to talk about in this video. So we're going to start with this pair. Now these are £230, so obviously there's a massive difference between 810 and 230. And I think they're made with, I believe these are Swarovski pearls. Now I really like these. It's not the sort of thing that I personally would usually go for, but actually I would wear these. I think they're really nice, I think they stand out, and for me personally, I would probably wear them with an outfit that was really quite edgy, really quite punk, just to add that little bit of elegance to it. Like, I actually quite like sort of bringing different styles together. For me, it's quite exciting to take a really punk outfit and put that bit of elegance onto it. I really like that. But again, we probably have different styles, and that's totally fine. Like, you might be really into something that's more classy, that's more elegant, that's maybe a classic look, maybe something understated. And yeah, I think these are perfect for so many styles. Another option, again, a pair that really stood out to me that I really like. Now, I think these are studs. I believe these are also £230. I really liked the colour that they had to them. And again, this is perfect for anyone who likes to wear studs. I don't usually wear studs, but I know that there are a lot of people who don't wear sort of like dangly earrings that hang down. So if you're someone who likes to wear studs, or if you just like something a bit more subtle, you don't want something that's too loud, then these are great. Now I'll show you a few bracelets. So this bracelet here is £180. Now this isn't something that I personally would wear, but I do think it's something that would suit a lot of people. It's quite fine, I think of it as, quite fine jewellery. And I definitely think it's something that you could wear as day wear. Now, these next few are going to be totally up my street. So this is something I only saw more recently. So I'm used to the sort of rock stud kind of cuffs that they have, like the rock stud material bracelets. This particular one isn't rock stud, so this is more like a vlogo version. Pretty sure this is £180, but I think that they have a version where you only have the one strap. So can you see how there are like two straps going across? I think the one where there's only one strap is £140. Don't quote me, but I think it is. I'm going to leave all the links in the video description below anyway. So yeah, I just love this. I mean, I love black and gold as a combination. You're wearing a lot of black with a small amount of gold. That's something that I really, really like. But I've always been into cuffs. And I mean, you can actually get cuffs in metal as well. Now, I usually don't wear the ones in metal. The reason is, like, I absolutely love the look of them. I've seen metal cuffs and I think they look absolutely incredible. They can actually look almost like armour. They often go straight across the wrist. They're often really quite wide. The issue with me is I'm always worried that they're going to sort of fall around and that they're going to kind of irritate me. Not that the metal is going to irritate me, just that it's going to irritate me having them sort of sliding out, because I'm kind of worried that they wouldn't fit, because I have very small wrists. But I always feel like I've got a bit more of a chance with the material ones. And I kind of think that they might be a bit more comfortable for me. And I also, you know, they're absolutely my style. So yeah, always something that I've been really into. I'll show you another one. Now, this is an example of the Rockstar Collection that I told you about. Now, the Rockstar Collection involves all sorts of things, shoes, bags, you know, loads of different items. But in terms of the bracelets that I was mentioning, this is basically one of those. So I think this is, I believe this is £170. Again, the link will be in the description. Pretty sure that's what it is. I was actually going over all of the prices before this, memorising them. For some reason, I found that really fun. So yeah, I'm really mad about this design. They have it in all sorts of colours as well. I've seen it in red, so I've sort of seen it black with the silver coloured studs. I've seen red with silver. I've seen gold with gold. And I think that was a different price. But yeah, I absolutely love that. The gold, really, really crazy about. And I've definitely seen this kind of thing as single strap, double strap. So, I think I've covered everything that I wanted to show you in this video on Valentino, and now we are going to move on to Alexander McQueen. So again, the prices in jewellery can vary a lot, so I decided to take these two examples for you. So I've taken two pairs of earrings. One is actually a pair of earrings, and I think one of them is an ear cuff. Now this pair is £290. I really like them because I love the sort of the pearl look to it, and the way that you had like the pearls and the skulls. I thought that that was really cool. I mean, I know I mentioned previously that I actually really like the idea of kind of combining different elements. So combining sort of the idea of, let's say, like a luxury look or an elegant sort of a classic look with something that's kind of punk. So for me, like seeing like pearls and skulls together is just really, really awesome. Now this example was definitely towards the lower end of what they had on there, but I'm pretty sure they do have actually cheaper options. So they had some earrings I think that were a lot plainer. I've also seen I think like individual earrings as well. So yeah, and also like little small ear cuffs. And from what I remember, I think a lot of the small little ear cuffs, like some of the more kind of subtle ones, I think some of those might even be less than 200. So yeah, you can actually, in this particular case with Alexander McQueen, I'd say you can definitely go less if you're looking for like some of the little things. Like I do think it goes lower, so definitely check it out, have a look at the website, and I think you'll see what I mean. They also go a lot higher in price, so I've definitely seen earrings on there for, you know, let's say roughly £350, £450, definitely some in the much higher range, like probably above 600, maybe above 650, like that kind of price range. So that's why I chose these. Now this is an ear cuff. Alexander McQueen do a load of ear cuffs. So I think I may have mentioned or may not have mentioned previously that Alexander McQueen do have like a really edgy aesthetic. I think of it as quite punk. It doesn't mean that they necessarily label that way, but their style, they have a lot of stuff that's really classic, like really nice sort of suits, blazers, that sort of thing, but they also have a serious edge to their style. So ear cuffs with Alexander McQueen, definitely a thing. This one is also £290, so the same price as the earrings. A lot of their cuffs are actually more expensive, but again, some of the little ones are actually a lot less, but then some of the bigger, more elaborate ones, and I actually think this is quite elaborate. I think you get a lot of detail for that price, considering that it's designer and considering what I know that various things cost. Like, I actually think there's a really good amount of detail in it, and I really like that. But I've definitely seen ear cuffs that have been, oh gosh, let me think, probably around the $450, maybe $550, maybe more price mark. So that was why I chose this. Again, very similar style to the last one. Really like it. So that's all I took down from Alexander McQueen, just for this particular video. But I do want to mention, though, before I move on to the next brand, before I move on to Chanel is the next one. So before I move on to Chanel, I do want to mention, you know, they do have a lot of other things. They do have necklaces. I felt like a lot of the necklaces for Alexander McQueen often tended to be kind of higher, so maybe like $550 upwards, some maybe $650, etc. So I kind of decided to focus on the earrings for this. But I also wanted to mention that they do have some really good options in terms of the bracelets. So they do very similar style bracelets to the sort of type that you have by Valentino. So, you know, like those sort of like material black kind of bands, like the cuffs, the thin cuffs that you have, the material cuffs that you have going over your wrist. So again, really like those. I was actually going to include those in here, but one of the ones that I checked out was actually out of stock, and so that was why I ended up not putting them in. But you can definitely get them, I'd say, from other websites as well. Like, there will be other websites like Farfetch and stuff like that that will sell Alexander McQueen jewellery. And again, I'm sure that they probably have other options, maybe even on their website, that are in stock, so I would definitely check that. But I really wanted to mention that because for anyone who was into those, like, I'm really into them. So for Alexander McQueen, they usually tend to have like a little skull on them. So you know how the Valentino options kind of had the studded, so there was sort of, they had the flat band and then they had the studs all along. Whereas a lot of the Alexander McQueen tend just to be the plain, the band is often plain, one colour, so it might be black, it might be red, and then there's often a skull, so it might be like silver in colour, it might be gold, so yeah. Chanel, that is our next stop. So I really wanted to talk about Chanel, and here's why. So I think that a lot of you who are watching this, like, you know, whether you're into design or not, I think that you might know a bit about Chanel. I think you probably will at least have heard of Chanel, and so that's why I thought that this would be a really good brand to get into a little bit. I also think that a lot of people who think of designer, like, Chanel is one of those brands that you really relate to designer. So if any of you are actually hoping to get into designer in some way, then Chanel might be something that you might actually be focused on. So that was why I really wanted to talk about Chanel. But bear in mind, like, this video is basically about, you know, hacks to try to wear designer for less. So instead of maybe spending thousands on a bag or a coat or whatever it might be, this is kind of a way that you can spend less than that by buying a little bit of jewellery or something like that. So again, like I said earlier in the video, maybe something that you need to save for, but still something that is affordable to actually save for, like to actually attain if you're saving up, if that makes sense. But bear in mind that Chanel is a really big brand and it is really high-end. So in terms of the super designers, like, the other two are brands that I would think of as super designers. I don't know whether they're officially super designers. I would definitely think of Valentino and Alexander McQueen that way. But bear in mind that with Chanel, it really is at the kind of top end of that. So the prices are going to be a little bit different to that. They probably are going to be a bit higher. I'm actually just trying to remember the pictures that I'm supposed to be putting up here on the screen. Because I'm trying to remember what it is that I have to show you. So I've remembered. So there'll be 3 pairs of earrings. What else was there? I can only remember what... Oh, 2 necklaces. I was thinking I could only remember 1 necklace. I was like, I swear there must have been 2. Because I know I gave an example from my personal sort of style. Like the sort of thing that I would go for as well. So 3 earrings, 2 necklaces, 2 bracelets. That's what it is. It's 3 earrings, 2 necklaces, 2 bracelets. So first pair of earrings, I'll show you these. So I actually really like these. I've seen these before. I've actually been watching them for quite a while. These are £465. I don't know whether you'd wear them during the day. I probably would, just because it's me, and, you know, I don't really care if I'm wearing something that's, you know, a bit too over the top for daytime wear, because my edgy sort of clothing is over the top in other ways anyway. I'm that sort of person, so it wouldn't really bother me. But, you know, it might be something that you might want to keep maybe for best. But I think that, yeah, they also have the logo here, but I think like the sort of like the crystal effect, you know, with the gold colour is just really, really beautiful. So these really stood out to me. These here I've also had my eye on, and these are also, I believe, £465. Now these earrings here I've also had my eye on. I've been watching these for a while as well. I'm pretty sure, I think these are also £465. Again, I've left everything in the link. It's just because I'm not looking at it at the moment, so I have actually looked, but it's just because I'm not staring at it. I looked at it a few minutes ago. I think it's £465, but again, I'll leave all of the links down below. Now, what I love about these is that I think that these would work really well during the day. So even if you're the sort of person who doesn't want to wear something that looks too nighttime, like you could definitely wear them out at night, but it's also something that I feel like you would get away with during the day, and that's why I really like them. But I think they also have they have the names, they have the Chanel written there. I just really like the way that it was done. So those two options, definitely my style. Now this third pair, maybe not so much. It's not something that I would immediately gravitate to, but I wanted to show you these because I know loads of people are into studs. So these are £335. Again, they're studs. The material is down as metal and resin, I think. And I think these are actually quite subtle. I mean, they do stand out because of like the dark colour with the gold against the dark. So they definitely stand out, but they're also really subtle. So for anyone who likes something a little bit more subtle, who isn't into the dangly earrings, and who's into studs, this sort of thing could be a good option. They have another colour as well. The other colour is kind of like gold on almost like on a dark red, as opposed to this really dark background. Necklaces. Let's talk necklaces. So what I wanted to do, because I was looking through this site and I was thinking, you know, what are the best options to show you? What are the options that I really want to talk about? What are the options I think you might really want me to talk about? So what I've done is with the necklaces, I've taken two options. So I've taken one option that I think would be a really good option for a lot of people, but not something that's my personal style. And then another option that is something that's more likely what I might wear, sort of thing that I might wear. So this is the first one. Now I chose this because, so a few reasons. So the first reason was because it had the Chanel logo in a really obvious way. I actually really like the shape of it. It looks like it probably falls in like a good place, a place that's going to suit a lot of people. But yeah, I think I like the fact that it has the logo on it, because I think for anyone who is sort of looking to get into design a little bit, you know, you might want something with the logo on it. But I also think there's a subtlety to this necklace. I think you could wear this as pretty much anything. Like, I literally think this would go with pretty much every outfit. And that was why I picked it, because I thought that, you know, if you're maybe thinking that you're going to save up for something and that you're going to invest in something, you know, you might be looking for something that you can actually wear literally every day or almost every day. And this is something that for anyone who's looking for something that, you know, has an obvious logo on it that they can wear on constant, I think this might be an option for you. And I think this is £445, I believe. And I think it is because this next one that I'm going to show you here is about I think it's £440. Again, all the links will be in the description below, so you can check down there. Now this is more my style. Now, honestly, if I was going to buy a necklace from Chanel, I think that what I would do is I think I would start with one of the chokers, but the reason I didn't include those here was because the whole point of the video was to look at sort of the lower kind of end of maybe what they had in terms of the price range, and I felt like the chokers were a little bit more, so they were maybe like $550, $590, $650, $750, maybe $850, those kind of price ranges, which is why I didn't put it down. But I thought, you know, what else can I find that's my style to give people an example, and to include something that's also a little bit me, because I wanted to, you know, like I said, I wanted to show you something that I thought might be really useful and practical, maybe something that you might be looking for if you're looking at this brand for jewellery, but I also wanted to show you something that was me. So I really like this. I feel like there's kind of like a gender neutrality to it, if you want there to be. You know, I guess because it's kind of the dog tag. I like the colours. Yeah, this is the sort of thing that I could actually see myself wearing. Like I said, I'd probably go for a choker before I would go for that, but I definitely really like this. Lastly, we've gone through quite a bit here. Lastly, we have bracelets. So again, with the bracelets, I've done a similar thing to what I did with the necklaces. So I've chosen a bracelet. The first one is not something that I would personally go for, but I think it's something that a lot of you might like. Again, I'm trying to remember my price numbers. I think this is $410. Is it $410? I think it is. I don't think I'm trusting myself enough with this, because I think I'm pretty sure on most of these prices, but I'm also like, oh, am I wrong? Am I right? So I like this to show you because, again, it's got that like pearl effect, and I think that, you know, I actually think that this really is something like, when you look at it, you'd think of Chanel, wouldn't you? Like, when I think of Chanel, we also think of something quite classic. We think of like a really, really classic look, and I think when we think of Chanel, pearls is definitely something that would come to mind, that sort of style. So I thought this might be the sort of thing that, you know, if you were thinking of getting a bracelet, then maybe this would be something that you might want to go for. The other option that I included is something that I really like. Now, again, it's less edgy than what I usually go for, but I really loved it. So I think, you know, if any of you have seen any of my other content, or if any of you have seen my content on TikTok, then, you know, you may or may not know that I'm really into complementing colours, or what I call contrasting colours. So, like, today I'm wearing, like, the yellow and the purple. Like, that's just something that I really love to do. So this, could you see already the parallel? So this is like the gold colour with all of the various colours, like multicoloured but on gold. So sometimes multicolour can be a bit much, but the whole thing isn't multicoloured. It's like small bits of different colours with, you know, on the gold sort of overall. So yeah, I genuinely thought this was really beautiful. Now again, this is climbing up the higher end, so this is going slightly upwards. So this is £590. So, I hope that this video has given you some insights anyway into, you know, these different brands, and also into the jewellery for these different brands and what you might be able to do. You know, if you did want to maybe buy a piece of jewellery, save up for a particular piece of jewellery. So I hope this has maybe given you some insights into that. So I am going to be doing more videos on this kind of thing. So I'm going to be, you know, showing you more hacks on how to wear designer on, you know, for less, you know, or for less than it might be if you're buying, you know, forking out for a really high-end handbag or really high-end coat or something like that. So I'm going to do one on scarves. And what was the other one I was going to do? I swear there was another one. Belts. That was it. It was belts. So I will be posting again soon. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, then please hit the subscribe button down below now. I'm going to leave my Instagram handle down below as well. It'd be really great if you could follow me on there. And I will see you in my next video. Thank you for watching. See you soon.